I've also given up cigarettes, which I stopped for like a year or two, a few weeks after I stopped drinking. But then my dad passed away in March and I started smoking again. So now I'm 6 weeks smoke free. But the one thing in the last 2 years I wasn't able to quit was smoking like vape pens, like the THC weed pens. And it was just putting me in like a fog. And I was doing it as like kind of like an anxiety, like a self-medicating thing. And I'm like 4 days without smoking for the first time in like a year now.
Come on, baby.
I feel like amazing. I'm sure Ken noticed, like I shared his post. I've been like posting more, just even like little stuff, but like I feel it already.
Those are big wins, bro. Those are big wins, man. Congratulations.
That's huge, man.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Big
Y'all
win.
get me all emotional on that.
If you don't unmute yourself, I'm gonna actually call on people. You know, I'm not ashamed. I will call you out on the spot.
Hey, we want to see some video, guys. Eden, unless you're doing push-ups, you got no excuse not to have your video on, chick.
Yeah, Jacob, unless you got a, party going on up top, man, you gotta turn your camera on, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call you out. Hey, Troy, how you doing, brother?
Man, I cannot complain.
You always got to win, bro. You're always winning, man. Tell me something you got, brother.
Let's see, trying to pick out which one, really, man.
There you go. That's good. Choose from the laundry list to win. I love
it. So, I mean, for one, I'm a Legionnaire with First Form now. So I've added nutritional and supplementation and fitness workouts to my coaching.
Show me them guns one time, baby. Show me them guns one time. Come on, one time flex for me. Show me them guns, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Like, I don't know if you see that.
Okay, cut that out. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Cut it out. Get back to that win.
So,
some bad internet.
But I mean, our financial. So what?
Troy, you're cutting out a little bit, brother.
Am I? I may have to take my video off. My internet at home is not good, but so we had our best July ever for our heating and air company. Best July ever. And so far, it's honestly the best year ever. Fantastic year so far. So those are just some wins that we've had recently.
That's exciting.
But, super pumped, man. Super pumped for everything going on. Website should be launched within the next week or two. Just a lot of stuff coming.
Good, man. Exciting stuff. Good job, man.
Proud of you, man.
Proud of y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Man, look at Jesse's even got her camera on today. This is like a new, she's hit or miss. Sometimes she's got a camera, sometimes you don't. Look at calling her out too.
Hey, it's Jesse's birthday this weekend.
Well, happy birthday.
We probably all sing happy birthday to her before we get off the call tonight.
No, it's not her birthday yet.
No, it was actually last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Her birthday was last week.
Well, it's already passed. Sorry, Jesse. We'll hit you up next year. Anyway, somebody give us a win. Come on now, guys. We got a couple more minutes of wins as people are joining in. Well, I'm excited about tonight. Ken's going to be uncovering and packing some of the new goods we got. I'm going to be talking about commitment tonight. It's really something that I know Ken's passionate about. But then also I know he's going to give you a couple sneak peeks of some of the stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes with the Grow Stack Drive code and the courses. We got the wonderful Sheena. That's a win for her. We got stuff in Kajabi. We got it rolling. It's pretty exciting stuff. So Sheena, great work, by the way. Sheena, tell us a win you got, girl.
Well, that was the win I was going to say. that were
great
there.
Minds think alike. Great minds.
So yeah, thank you for sharing my win, and I'm excited to actually show it in a little while. So
cool.
Sheena, I'm gonna let you run that too, Sheena. When I do it, I'm gonna make you Stace, make her a co-host if you don't mind. And so that way she can share her screen just a little bit, and we'll run through that. So
giving Sheena the steering wheel, I don't know about that, Ken. We might we're getting progressive here. Hey, how about you, David? I see you up there being too quiet tonight, sir. How you doing, buddy? Tell us a win you got, sir.
I'm doing real good. I took Kristen's advice last week, and I started running it every day. Or it's not actually a real run yet. It's a walk run, but I've cut about 20 seconds off my time running around the park that I got.
That's awesome. Hey, remember, always incremental, not monumental. I don't know who says that, but there's this guy we get on here every week with. We talk about that all
Sounds
the
pretty
time.
smart.
He's a smart guy. Logan, I know what your win is your camera light for your computer. That's not a win. But tell me something. I should be a stand-up comic. I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. It's on my bucket list. It is. And I'll invite all you when I get on. I actually win. It was a long time ago, and I'll make it a funny one. Logan, get ready with your win. I always wanted to actually do stand-up comedy. It's always been like a dream of mine to do like an open mic night, like a really nice place, like in Atlanta or LA. They had this real good one called the Laughing Skull, and I was going to do an open mic night. They do it for the first hour, and then they were I'm trying to remember the comedian that was coming on after, but I got accepted. You got to apply for open mic night. You got to send in a video, and I got accepted, and then the vid hit, and I couldn't do it. So that's a win. Just a funny one. But Logan, your turn.
Hey man, that's pretty simple. We got on our team. We finally got leads rolling in, so now I'm just hitting all them up all the time, calling through people. So that's obviously pretty wonderful.
How many phone calls you made in 2 days, Logan?
About, maybe about 100. I mean, it's not that great, but
That ain't bad.
phone actually messed up today, so that kind of screwed me over. So, but yeah. And then a couple of those leads already are looking to buy. 1 or 2 of them already looking to buy over the next 6 months. So that'd be.
We got to get Logan some, even if you're in a different state, we do referrals at EXP. Logan needs to buy himself a light bulb. So if you guys would help him out and I'll make sure your transaction goes smooth.
I can hook him up with that phone.
Hey,
There you go.
You got to pay your team better. I don't know if he paid his electric bill. I think he might just be running on a battery pack, man.
Oh, trust me. When it comes time for that draw, I get that text and that thing from Regis. He knows.
Just giving you a hard time, Logan. We can, brother. Hey, well, guys, we're going to get going here. Unless anybody else got a win they want to share, post it in the chat. If you like, you got a big win you want to share, give a thumbs up, and I'll call on you. But we're going to get rolling tonight. We want to dive into the things that we're going to be rolling into tonight on the topic of commitment and some other stuff we'll be sharing. So, Ken, our fearless leader, brother, I'm going to toss it over to you, and let's get jamming.
Boom. Hey, guys, thanks for being here tonight. I'm honored that you're here. Just to touch base real quick, last week, just to kind of unpack or revisit what we talked about last week. We talked about the foundations of significance. Tonight, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about commitment. And then we're going to this is kind of the night where we get to go, we get to unveil Sheena and Nate. Zach's not on the call tonight. Stacy have worked extremely hard to drop this content. You guys are going to see this content is world-class. The content, the production level, the excellence level. It literally is like, I'm blown away at what the team has been able to accomplish. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But last week we talked about the foundation of significance. And one of the reasons that I'm super excited about what we're doing, I was on the way home from the airport one day and I got a call from this guy named the Pitch Freak. And we were talking about, he was like, dude, like, what's your niche? Like, what are you going to do? And he's asking me all the questions. I'm like, well, dude, I don't know. What do you think I should do? And he's like, so we're talking. He goes, dude, man, you are the culture guy. You are the leadership, the significance guy. This is who you are. And so literally, so I'm on the phone with Antonio. We talked for probably 45 minutes that day. We were talking, and it is what I love to do. Is when I work with business owners, and if I do group coaching like this, or I work with business owners one-on-one, I really do have a heart for healthy culture in business. It really is. Simon Sinek, Pat Lencioni are my 2 favorite authors. There's a reason why I love doing what I do is because, if you've read Death by Meeting, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, The Advantage by Pat Lencioni, Start with Why Leaders Eat Last, some of Simon's books, those really are my favorite thing because I really have a heart and desire for businesses to be able to be a place that people look forward to going and working. And in the future, you guys are going to get to hear a little bit from my friend Bobby Grassi. I don't know if he's on the call tonight or not, but he runs a dental practice in Michigan, upwards of about $4 million a year dental practice, one of the top dental practices in Michigan. And if you've been to Michigan, I'm from Pontiac. Pontiac's one armpit of the United States and Flint's the other. And so for him to be able to do what he's doing there is phenomenal. And the reason he does it is because his culture on his team is phenomenal. And so what excites me about releasing these 3 courses on mindset, strategy, leadership development through or multiplication through leadership development is really the underlying theme of we want something for you, not something from you. And it's really about significance versus success. And we've talked about that a lot. So I don't want to kind of dive into that anymore. Last week, we talked about the foundations of significance. We talked about 3 separators. We talked about action, number 1. And I'll go back. I actually shared this on my podcast today. I had a girl today, phenomenal. She's one of the girls that Anthony Trucks is coaching. She's doing a phenomenal job. She is a neurological PA, owns her own practice in British Columbia. But we talked about today, she kept talking about action today. And I went back to the quote from Sharon Lechter. Those of you guys know who Sharon is. She co-wrote the books of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 3 Feet from Gold with Greg Reed. And she talked when we were at the lodge with Coach Burt a couple weeks ago. She goes, you don't need there's no such thing as a magic potion. It's about motion. Like, you've got to get in action. So we talked about the 3 foundations of significance. The first separator was action. The second separator was why. Like, what's my why? What makes me come alive? And the third thing was the who. And for you guys, like you guys are my who. For me, obviously, Nate's a who. Richie Dolan's a who. Antonio is a who. I mean, there are guys and girls in my life that are who's. So those were the 3 things we talked about last week. This week, I want to talk about, not long, maybe 30 minutes. I want to talk about commitment. So if you got your pen, there's an ebook. We dropped it on the website. You can look in the ebook as well. I want to talk about commitment tonight. And here's the definition of commitment. Because I actually looked it up. And this is one of the things that Richie does well, and I think Grant does well also is when we look at a word, let's look at what it really means. And commitment means this: the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause. And I'll tell you what I've seen over the past, today in my journal, I started a brand new 10X journal today. It's September the 2nd, and it hit me real quick. I'm about 11 months into the first time I saw Grant's ad pop up on my Instagram account, which was like the 1st of October of last year. So I'm almost a year into that journey, and about 2 months, almost 2 months, a little bit less than 2 months away from my anniversary of being at boot camp last year. And there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of people that are on this call that may have made that journey for 11 months, but there's also some people that I could name that I saw start out really, really hot, and they're not around anymore. And I know there are seasons. We go through seasons in our lives, which is perfectly fine. And that's part of the maturing process as a human, as a husband, as a wife, as a dad, as a friend. All of those things is part of that process. But I've also seen some people who started out really, really hot and then kind of waned a little bit and then kind of came back, and they're kind of regaining their composure. And a couple of those guys are in our accountability group. And Nate and I, we had a phenomenal call. We've actually got a call. I think we had a call tonight after we're done here. And so I've watched that too. And I think the one thing that has separated those that have done really, really well, I mentioned Samantha just a minute ago. You know, there's a lot of times I may get some props from Grant or Jared or maybe C-Rock or Antonio. We may get some props, but like with where Samantha's at and where she was back in October, her story is probably the biggest transformation I've seen out of the several hundred people that were at boot camp that we've met through boot camp and through GrowthCon and through all of those things. But I think commitment is the number one thing that we are going to start with. Tonight's going to kind of again be a freebie. Next week, we will get started week 1 of GSD Code. We'll open it up to the public as well before we close it off to everyone who's subscribed and is part of our tribe. But commitment, the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause. And there's a couple things that commitment does that I want to talk to you tonight. Number 1, commitment leads, it never follows. Commitment leads, it never follows. So when Sharon said that a few weeks ago, when I was up at the lodge with Tim and Coach Burt and with Sharon, and got to kind of hang out behind the scenes with them and hear them, when she said that day about, you don't need a magic potion, you just need motion. You've got to act. You've got to be in action consistently. And the way that we stay in action consistently is through commitment. It's through commitment, because, and the second thing is this, is commitment isn't based on circumstances. Like, because I look at all the people that are on the call tonight, like with Antonio, and I know Antonio's kind of been behind the scenes a little bit, but I'm going to give him in a minute. I'm going to give him an opportunity to show you why he's been behind the scenes. And I've seen the guys. I see Jay on here. I see Jimmy on here. I see Joseph Infante on here, Troy on here, Greg on here. I see a lot of familiar faces, Sins on here. And so, and I know a lot of your backstories. And so circumstances aren't always going to go our way. They're just not going to. There are going to be moments when life just freaking kicks us right in the gut. And it literally takes the wind out of our sails. And what do we do when that happens? We've got to fall back on commitment. The only thing we have to fall back on is commitment. Commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause. So the question I want you to ask yourself, and I'd love for you to write this question down in your book. If you've got your 10X planner or whatever journal you write in, how dedicated am I to my cause? How dedicated am I to fill in the blank? My position, my family, my kids, my job, my career, my business, the dream that's on the inside of me. Like I had a call today with Lena, my client in Switzerland. She's an attorney with a PhD. And I was walking through, she was asking me about, so I started showing her a little bit about and dude, it just lit something. And we've talked about her doing some courses online for her in the specific cargo shipping industry that she does. And dude, it stirred something in her today. She was like, oh my gosh, Ken, I need to do this. And again, she's an attorney with a PhD. So she's a very intelligent woman. And she was like, do you think I can do this? I said, and this is exactly what I told her. I said, I'm talking about commitment tonight. You can do this if you'll be committed to this. Of course you can do this if you'll be committed. So I want you to ask yourself tonight, how dedicated am I to fill in the blank? How dedicated, Eden, how dedicated are you to push-ups? Sam, how dedicated are you to continuing to grow and not just resting at the level that you are right now? Commitment leads, it never follows. Listen, commitment doesn't push vision. Commitment doesn't push your dreams. Commitment doesn't push your business. It just doesn't do that. Commitment is out in front going, hey, come on, this is where we're going. Commitment always leads, it never follows, and commitment isn't based on circumstances. And I asked Troy to come on tonight and talk a little bit because I love this guy's heart. Some of you guys that may not know Troy's backstory, he's a single dad. He's got a little girl. She just turned a year-old last week. Troy, is that right? Turned a year-old last week. You go ahead and unmute yourself, Troy. And I asked Troy to kind of, because when I see, it's funny, Troy sent me a message today about going to the gym late because he had his daughter today. So there's a lot of times like on Troy's physicals, I'm like, I had him flex just a while ago, but if you go look at his Instagram page, dude, he's got like 18 abs. He don't have a 6-pack. He's got freaking 18-pack. Dude, he's jacked. But I love his commitment level to his physical fitness. And even though the circumstances, like with his daughter, having to take care of her, being a single dad, and Troy, I asked Troy to talk a little bit about, so Troy, talk about like even today, having to go to the gym at a later time. Talk about how committed you, being a single dad, how committed, number one, you've got to be to your daughter. And then number two, because of that commitment you're having to give her, how you still have to be committed in those other areas, like your business. You said you guys had the best month ever. I think we lost Troy. Hey, Troy, try to maybe turn off your video. Let's see if we can get you. Because Troy does live in the middle of the woods in North Carolina. So anyway, I'll pick up for Troy. I'll share a little bit of Troy's story. So Troy called me today. We were talking this afternoon. I actually called him to talk to him about sharing a little bit tonight. And he said, yeah, I just got through working out. I know he had posted. I got through working out. I had my daughter today. And last week he was gone. We were talking in the car, and he was going to his daughter's first year birthday party. His parents have got a place, I think, down in Charleston, and so they were on the way to Charleston, North Myrtle Beach, or something like that. And she was in the car, and I could hear her crying on the way. And I'm like, dude, talk to me about being a single dad. Like what's that like? And he's the one that talked about the commitment level. Troy, if you can hear me, dude, I want you to interject at any time, bro. You must not be able to hear me. But we talked about the level of commitment that it takes from him, not just to be a single father, but to be a great father. And we talked about the commitment that he has to have to his daughter, the commitment of, because you guys know, man, if you're a parent and you've got kids and you're married, it's difficult. Troy, you're breaking up really, really bad, homie.
Troy, we're doing it for you, bro. You're working hard.
You know, we talked about that commitment level. Those of you guys that are parents that have a spouse, you know. No, Troy, you may want to hop off, Troy, and hop back on and see if that gives you a little bit better connection. But those of you guys that are married that have kids, you know how difficult that is and how much of a commitment it takes. And so now here, like with Troy, he's a single dad. And when he comes back on, I'm gonna let him share just a minute anyway. So if we can get a good signal for him, just the commitment level that he has, not only to his daughter, but to his physical fitness, to being a Cardone licensee, to starting his coaching business, and then running a whole division for their HVAC company on the commercial side. And y'all heard him earlier. I mean, this is the best month they've ever had, and they're in the process of having the best year that they've ever had in the middle of COVID, and transitioning from being just a residential and commercial to just into commercial HVAC company. So here's a question I want you guys to write down today. I want you to write this question down. What happens when I commit? What happens when I commit? Because here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you this right now. Some of you, we've already got 7 or 8 people who've signed up for boot camp. We've got probably a dozen or more people who have already signed up for the GSD code. Probably 10 to 12 people have already signed up for all 3 of the courses already. I'm going to ask you tonight. I'm going to ask you to commit. I'm going to ask you to commit, not to me, not to our team, not to Grow Stack Drive. I'm going to ask you to commit to you. I'm going to ask you to commit to you. And we're going to, at the very end of the night, I'm going to ask you to commit to about 4 or 5 different things that are going to be, they're going to be a little difficult for you. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What happens when I commit? And here, I want to give you 3 things that will happen. Number 1, commitment is going to bring change. Commitment is going to bring change. And one of the mistakes that I made, guys, and I say it's a mistake. When we finished our last coaching group, about 33, I think there were 33, 34 people in that coaching group. It's been 2 months, I guess, since we started this group. I know we did some things, but we took about 4 weeks off. And one of the things I learned on there is commitment brings change, but change also brings accountability, and that accountability comes through community. And when we lack community, I used to think it was just a ministry thing. Like we talk about the body of Christ, if you're familiar with, with kind of church nomenclature kind of stuff. In ministry, I used to tell people all the time, if I had to do away with Sunday services or small groups, I'd do away with Sunday services, because disciples and relationships are built in circles, not in rows. It's the same thing. And I see the same thing happening here. So commitment brings change, and commitment also brings accountability, because we're committed to one another. So I don't want you to just commit to you and your dream, but I want you to commit to the person that's next to you. I want you to commit to the people that might be in your accountability group. I know Sin's in an accountability group with Phil Mills and some other guys that are on. Phil's not on the call tonight because he's got a father-son thing. He's doing dove hunt or something he's doing tonight. But I know that they're committed. Like they're committed to doing their calls every week. My accountability guys, we are committed every single week. So commitment, number 1, brings change. The second thing is that change brings growth. Listen, guys, the only thing, I don't know if you ever heard this before, the only people that like change is a wet baby. Like nobody else likes change. Like change isn't something we're comfortable. A wet baby likes change, and that's it. We do not like change. But what we have to do is we have to change the way that we process and we think, so that we not only embrace change, but we freaking go after it. One of our 5 core values and 5 filters of the GSD code is teachability. And our saying, and Logan's on the call, Stacy's on the call, Lynn's on the call, some of my real estate agents that work on my team, we say this on teachability: we're not only open to listen to the language, we're not only open to feedback, but we actively pursue feedback. It's not enough to be open to feedback. We actively go after it. Hey, how can I get better? I can't tell you the calls I've been on with Antonio. I can't tell you the conversations Nate and I have had, Christian Gomez and I have had, the calls that C-Rock and I have had on, hey, you see what's going on? How can I get better? You see what's going on? How can we improve? You see what's going on? Ken, you're doing good. I know we're doing good, but we can always get better. Commitment brings change. Change brings growth. I asked Rosa to come on because she's you got how many days left on 75 hard? 1, 2? Or are you done?
No, today's day 73. So I got 2 more days.
You got 2 days. And then talk about, because obviously commitment brings change. You had to make a commitment. And then the change brings growth. Talk a little bit, Rosa, about that growth, what the change and then the growth you've experienced in a month and a half doing that 75. Does everybody know what 75 hard is? Rosa, take just a second to explain that to everybody.
So 75 hard is basically, I guess, a journey for 75 days, basically on how to toughen up your mental state. So even though there's like 2 workouts of 45 minutes each, one of them must be outside, no alcohol. I don't drink, so that wasn't a big deal for me. You have to drink a gallon of water daily. You have to read 10 pages of nonfiction book. You have to eat a meal that is, with some goal in mind, some kind of health goal in mind. And all of this is really just to toughen you up as a person. So I started this because I don't know if you remember the call, Ken, when I was really, really stressed out after my husband had recovered from COVID. I had spent a lot of time caring for him. And in that process, I had just like built a wall. Basically, like in order for me to care for my family, I had to just put a shield, not really let anything get to me so I could take care of everybody, basically. So when he got better, I was like I never really got a chance to process all of this. And so when I started talking to Ken, I started, he said, start working out. I felt like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to move my body. So when I started doing that, I decided to do the 75 for physical reasons, but mainly for my mental state. So when I started doing that, it was more like a challenge for me. Like, let's see if I could really hang on for 75 days. I've done difficult things, but nothing like this, very different things that I've done. So I'm on day 73. I've learned that, I really had to push myself to ask for the space that I needed. So it's almost like giving myself the permission to do me without feeling guilty that I'm not doing her, I'm not doing family stuff, like I'm taking care of me. And when that happened, obviously the whole self-respect comes to play. I'm keeping my word to myself that I'm going to do my workouts, that, obviously I have a full-time job. I still have responsibilities at home. I'm working on other things. I'm in different programs to grow and develop myself. But I still have to keep my word to myself that I have to do my workouts, even when I'm tired. In the middle of this, not in the middle, but almost like really a couple of, several weeks into this, I sprained my ankle because I was jumping rope. And so the pivot that I had to do in a very quick time frame was to decide that I was going to keep going with the sprained ankle. It was just going to look different for me. I'm not jumping rope.
Stop right there, Rosa. Do y'all, because I remember the first day I saw her with a boot on her foot. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Guys, do you understand the level of commitment that it took I'm talking about level of commitment just to do the thing. And she's in day 73. She's got 2 days left. I mean, working out, you heard all of the things that go into 75 hard, that commitment level. And then when I saw her, I DM'd you or sent you a text, I'm like, what happened to you? And she's outside in the yard with a giant boot on her foot. So guys, when I talk about commitment, I promise you that I don't care how far you've come. I don't care how far you've grown. I don't care where you're at in life. If it's a scale of 1 to 10 and you feel like you're living a 9 or a 10, I'm talking about a commitment level that blows through that freaking ceiling of a 10 and gets you to a 15 or 16, that it gets you to places that you never thought you could get to before. So Rosa, talk to me about that whole, just the mindset of how many days were you in it when you did hurt your foot?
I think this is, like 2 weeks that I've had the boot on. So that was a really good thing because in my mind, I had already built the habits. Like the rhythm was already happening. I had already gone through the most difficult part, which was the first 30 days. I would say the first 30 days were the hardest. After that, it was more like my body's getting used to it. My schedule, you know, some things I still have it's not easy, even though it's simple, it's not that easy. But what happened as far as my frame of thought is like, oh man, I went to the urgent care, got my boot, came back, and I said, I can't do anything that is going to injure my foot, obviously. So I'm just going to work on my abs and my upper arms. I can sit down and I can still do my upper body workout. So I didn't see a reason why it had to stop. It just, I'm just a little bit slower because I can't go up the stairs that fast or whatever. So for me, it was just like, it was not that difficult to decide to keep going. It was more like, okay, now I just have to pivot a little bit. No more jumping around, that kind of thing.
Now, how many of you guys are sitting? Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw her with the boot on her foot, I went, ain't no way I'll be doing that. My ass would have quit. I'd have been sitting in the house going, sorry, I didn't see a sprained ankle on a boot in my future. So I guess I just can't do it anymore. How many of you guys literally who would have been like, I'm done? Come on, raise your hand. I'm done. I tap. I'm done. So talk to me about the last couple of weeks, Rosa. How on that, again, we're talking about commitment brings change and change brings growth. Talk to me about how mentally and in your mindset that really commitment, what does commitment and change and growth mean to you now?
For me, I feel like I've always been committed to certain things. So for certain things, I know there's going to be a time where I'm going to finish. Like there's no question in my mind on certain things. And now it's not everything. It's not like, everything I start, I finish. But on certain things, I know that I'm going to finish regardless. Mm-hmm. What happens, I feel like I go into this phase of, it's going to sound strange, but almost like looking at myself as if I was somebody else. Like this person is gritty. She's going to finish. This person can do it. She's a badass person. So it's almost like I look at myself as if it was not somebody else. Obviously it's me, but like if I was talking about my best friend, like, oh, mm-hmm. She can do it. That kind of mentality.
And one of the things she does, and I know that Rosa does that, she practices those daily affirmations, which part of our entire, all 3 courses, there are daily affirmations. Not only there's 7 daily affirmations that we give you, but we give you space for 5. Isn't that right, Sheena? I think that's correct. I think there's 5. You come up with your own 5. So there's 12 daily affirmations every day you speak. Every day you speak. And let me ask you a question. When you heard her say that, she's a badass woman. What did that do on the inside of you? That fired you up. You want to do. Some of y'all are on the internet right now going 75 hard. I want to do this. I got to do this right now. Like I don't care what it costs. I'm going to do 75 hard because I want to be like Rosa. Because I want to have Nate say, he said, no, he's like, no, I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. So Rosa, talk about a little bit about the growth for you over the last, not just the 75 days, but specifically since that kind of threw you a little curveball with your foot.
To be honest, I don't really see a whole lot of change. I think overall the change that I've seen is that I'm more confident in myself. That does play a lot into how I carry myself, how I talk to myself. There's some areas that I still want to improve, and I feel like I'm pushing myself every single day toward that it doesn't feel like, it feels like there's work to be done, but it doesn't feel like it's impossible.
Right.
And so I feel like, I'm headed in the right direction. There's a lot of positivity that I do feel about what I can accomplish. Even in some areas where I haven't been able to crack the code, so to speak, I know I'm going to get there. It's just, I have to work through some things. So I feel like, I don't see a whole lot of change from like the moment that I had my foot injury, but I do see like a whole shift of my mindset. I do have I feel like more confident and, as far as seeking feedback, I know we've talked before that I had a talk with my employer. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, making these very small actions
Incremental, not monumental.
They're your incremental actions that it doesn't feel overwhelming for me.
Yeah. And guys, let me say, she just said something right there that's super important. She said, I made these small changes so it didn't feel overwhelming to me. Like, because don't you think sometimes, guys, by show of hands, how many of you guys think when I want to make change, I want it tomorrow. Like I want to lose 80 pounds by next week. Like it just doesn't work that way. Like it literally is incremental, not monumental. I love what she said. Just make small changes so it didn't seem overwhelming to me. Because a lot of times we set 10X goals or we set these ideas or these dreams that we want, and we overestimate what can happen in the short term, and we underestimate what can happen in the long term. Because we want it. We live in such a society that wants it so fast right now. And the reality of it is it takes a little bit of time. Nick, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, I just had a question for you, Ken. How do you avoid getting into a state of overwhelm when you do have those massive 10X goals and you're trying to tackle all those things?
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I call Nate and go, dude, man, I don't know if I can do this. Like it's a lot. So one of the ways I do it, Stacy's on the call tonight somewhere. I think Stacy was on the call. Maybe Stacy is on the call somewhere. Stacy's my executive assistant. There she is. She's right next to me, as a matter of fact. And I was bragging on her. She don't know this because she'll want to raise. But I was bragging on her since I pulled her over into the real estate side, and we started to build the team. And we put $1 million worth of homes under contract in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We closed a big deal yesterday. What's happened is she's now, because she's in her sweet spot, because that's what she does. She's running with things. I don't have to say, hey, Stacey, I need you to do A, B, and C. She's running with things and doing things. So part of it for me, Nick, is the bigger the dream, the bigger the team. Ooh, right. Better write that down. That's pretty good right there.
That's good stuff.
The bigger the dream, the bigger the team. So you've got to be able to recruit good. And so we want to talk about the power of relationships. Stacy's boyfriend is Nate's longest friend in the state of Georgia. That's how I met her. So it really is. There's power in relationships.
And you umpired my son.
Oh yes, and her ex-husband umpired baseball with me, and I umpired her son in high school. I got to write the bigger the dream, the bigger the team.
One of the things that really spoke to me with Rose, I think a lot of times we get caught up in words, but just know commitment is not a word; it's an act. It's an act. Most people don't fail for lack of desire; they fail for lack of commitment. I mean, because there's no shortage of motivation in our world. You can find motivation around every corner. There's literally, especially in the 10X community, you can get on with Pitch Free, you can get anybody on this call, you can get on with Nick, you can get on with Christian, you can get on with numerous people that will motivate you. People don't fail for lack of motivation. People fail because of lack of desire. And the biggest part about commitment too, Nick and Sid, he was like, when it comes to commitment, there's really only two things. Either you're in or out. There's no in between. There's no gray area with commitment. Makes sense? Like people try to make commitment like gray black and, a gray area. Oh, no, I'm kind of, but if this happens, I won't do it. But commitment is literally this simple. There's only two things. You're either in or you're out. There's no in between with commitment. And when you treat commitment like an act, like Rosie, you have for 75 days, it's been an act for you, not a word. You started with motivation. What kept you when you had a boot to keep going, it's not because you were motivated to finish, it's because you actually were driven by your commitment. It was an action that you committed to. For sure, you probably at that moment, like, man, but what got you to follow through was your dedication to commit.
Yeah, it goes back. Nate said it. Commitment leads, it never follows. Commitment's always out front. Hey, Nick, did that answer your question, Nick?
Too, Ken. Troy said he has something to add. If he says something.
Yeah, go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, all right. I reset my dial up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Your dial up. We got you, my friend. Come on, Troy.
All right. So, man, commitment, right? We all get committed at first. But what a lot of people fail to do is get recommitted every day, multiple times a day sometimes. So, yeah, I have the 18-pack, but I recommit all the time. I recommit myself every day. And there's been times whenever I don't have my daughter, so I work out at 5 a.m. And there's been plenty of times I can count, maybe not count, but anyway, plenty of times whenever the alarm clock goes off and I talk myself out of it. My thoughts go through my head, but then I remind myself of my goals, what my results that I want to achieve, and I can't get them laying in bed. So I recommit at that point, and I get my butt out of the bed and I go to work. But you guys hit commitment on the head, and I just wanted to add that we have to recommit. And I know we lose sight of that sometimes, but what Rosa was doing with putting her thought on the end game there, that's how you just keep recommitting. So I just wanted to add that real quick tidbit now that I got my internet back.
I love that. That's great, Troy. And Rosa saying, and I've lost 15 pounds. That's a bonus. Yes, that is a bonus. That's phenomenal. So guys, and Nate said it again, commitment leads, it never follows. It literally is. And I love what Troy said about, you know what, it's almost recommitting every day. And then if you have to throughout the day, I'm going to recommit. Because guys, listen, when I write these goals down every morning and every night, there's a reason I write them down. There's a reason I write them down. And here's another thing too, just kind of a small sidebar, because it's 8:47, these goals are fluid. So they've changed. My goals right now on Grow Stack Drive, 10 new one-on-one clients, $1 million in revenue. My podcast up and running, which it's there. I just had a company do my intro, outro, all the commercials. They're mastering everything, getting ready to put everything on Spotify and iTunes. Partner with Richie, being a master coach, a master licensee coach for Grant, which we're doing. I got 100 people in GSD code and 50 people at boot camp. That didn't even exist 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Didn't even exist. It's brand new. And part of commitment is as we go, things begin. I said this a couple weeks ago. As we go, things begin to get more clear. So commitment brings change. Change brings growth, and growth brings results. Commitment brings change. Change brings growth, and growth brings results. Rosa just said it, and I've lost 15 pounds. That's a bonus. Of course. And Rosa, I can tell, dude, you're like your face and like your neck and area looks completely different. And it could be, I know, because that's the same journey I've been on for almost 10 months now at 46 and a half pounds now. Commitment brings change. Change brings growth. Growth always brings results. So Sheena, I'm gonna turn it over to you real quick. I want Sheena to kind of, if you'll take 4 or 5 minutes, Sheena, I'm gonna let you can share the screen, and I'm gonna let Sheena kind of walk through what we've been working on for 2.5 months. Fill in the blank for number 2, James. Commitment isn't based on circumstances. Sheena, you got it, girl?
Yeah, I'm getting it together. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen.
Hey, any questions, guys, real quick while she's pulling that up? Any questions at all? Perfect.
All right. So lots of really, really fun things have been in the works behind the scenes, as Ken's been talking about. And so, Ken, do you want me to show all, like, kind of what they look like, or?
Yeah. Let's
okay.
walk through. Let's walk through a little snippet of video, maybe the affirmations, the workbook, the work guides, the
Cool.
hack guides, all the stuff that we do.
Awesome. Okay, let me share my whole screen then.
Make sure when you play a video, Sheena, right when you get ready to play a video, when you share a screen, it says include in the bottom of the checkbox says include the sound.
Oh, that's good.
So you may need to unshare it and then reshare it.
Then you not share and then share again. And there's a box in the bottom that says include sound.
Share computer sound. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
And you can see.
Oh, we got our password. Go type it. Oh no.
Yeah. The website.
And for those of you guys that have already paid, Sheena, they will get a username, which will be their email, and a password for that, or what does that look like?
Yes. So you can hear me, right?
Yes, we got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So as soon as I have their email, I'll add everybody that's already paid to courses, and then you'll get an email saying that you've been granted the course, and then you'll get another email that gives you your email address and a password that you can go in and change. And then what's really cool is that it will look like, depending on what course you have, or it will look something like this. So this is what all the courses look like.
And we did a preview course, guys, that's free. So that's kind of a little sampling, and Sheena can explain a little bit of that.
Yep. So in the preview course specifically, we took a couple pieces from every one of the courses that kind of just gave the overall idea of what the intention is behind all three of these courses together and the True Growth Stack Drive code. So it includes mindset, it includes daily affirmations, which I'll play like a little bit of this one. Oh wait, can you hear it?
No, we do not.
You know why? Because I have headphones in.
Ken, you look good.
Can you hear it at all or no?
No. That's a good looking guy right there, though.
Let me change my speakers because I think that it's connected to my headphones.
Wait, so you got Bruce Willis to do your project for you?
I did. You see that? We're gonna rename it Die Hard 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so I think the sound won't disconnect from the AirPods that I'm wearing, so I keep hearing it. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but what I wanted to show too is that this is the Grow course, for instance, and what's great about it is it does include all of the resources that Ken was just mentioning. So it has a workbook that you will get to go through the entire course. It also has a hack guide. Just have to add the manifesto. That's the only part that isn't in here yet, Ken, but as soon as it downloads, I'll show you what that looks like.
Looks like you're on
and
too.
What?
Just kidding with you.
She's sharing dial-up with Troy.
I feel like I am, and I shouldn't be because I live in Los Angeles, but so every single one of the workbooks directly connects with the learning materials in the course itself. So it does give you a lot of prompts to actually identify where you're at. These are the daily affirmations that you get. So there is space to add, as Ken mentioned, 5 of your own, plus each one of the daily affirmations per course is aligned with what the course materials are. So it really helps to reinforce what you're learning and reinforce the learning pieces that Ken that we talked about and Ken wanted to make sure were included. So every single affirmation per course is directly aligned, which is one of my favorite parts. What's also great too is that each one of the workbooks, these are all the sessions that you can go through, but they also include somewhere down here.
Homework.
There's lots of homework. Every course has a homework assignment per section, as well as an area for you to take notes as you're going through, or as ideas come up as you're processing the lessons, as well as a resource guide based on each of the modules. So you'll be able to connect the dots between some of the pieces that Ken is talking about in the videos with exactly where they came from, a lot of different areas to fully connect all of the learning with taking action. The biggest part about each of these courses is that they're designed for you to actually use them. They're not just designed to run through it once and forget about it. They're designed to take action every day. The daily affirmations are the first part of that, but even with every single one of the, this is page 2. Every single one of the lessons has an area where you can take action and repeat the action and the lesson of that time every single day, every week. And it's really been created to help anyone really identify these key areas in their life and constantly improve and grow and commit. Actually, this is the perfect conversation to have, because it is about constantly committing to this learning process, to what Growth Stack and Drive are all about, and changing your life, your professional life, personal life, everything. So this is my big win of the week. This is launched, and it's been such a fun, a wonderful experience just being a part of this. So.
Hey, can we go into, Rosa, go into like one of the videos, just a little bit of the video,
Sheena?
so we can kind of give them, I'm sorry, I said Rosa, I was reading the thing there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Sheena. Can we go into one of those real quick and just give them a little maybe a clip of kind of what it looks like, the backgrounds, the transitions.
Yeah, let me disconnect these headphones. So you
No, we can't hear you, Sheena, just so you know. And as she's bringing that up, guys, I mean, the foundation of how we built this was, we didn't build it for the people that were interested. We built it for the people that are committed. Because people that are interested, what they typically do is they only do the work when it's convenient. You know, when you're committed to something, you don't accept excuses. There's no excuses, only results. So this course is designed to help you generate results. And so if you're interested in it, cool. But if you're committed to the process of growing your mindset, you know, stacking the odds in your favor by building quality strategies, both personally and professionally, and you're committed to actually, you know, driving the results you want by actually multiplying your efforts, by growing your capacity as a leader. Those are the things that the foundation of this course is all built on commitment. Because we know great accomplishments. What's the foundation of great accomplishments? It's commitment. Mm-hmm. The foundation of great accomplishments is commitment, period. End of story. And I don't know, Sheena, I was hoping, can you hear us, Sheena? Because we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you now.
All right. I got to turn on my mic. So, you know, technology. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit of this video to kind of just give a feel for how it flows. And let me make sure you can hear it too.
Strategy. Strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. Having a well-developed strategy provides you with greater opportunities of achieving what you set out to do. Not only that, but it also gives you clarity and a clearer path to achieve your goals. See, a sound strategy can ensure complete success for you personally as well as within your business. When you want to create a strategy, bigger possibility. In 1954, a man named Roger Bannister shattered what was thought to be impossible, the 4-minute mile. I think we're good. I think that gives everybody an idea, guys. Sheena, fantastic job, girl.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. She has done well. Hey, y'all put your hands together and let Sheena know. What a phenomenal job in getting this content stuff done. I'm almost done, and I want to give Pitch Freak just a minute to talk about his book. Guys, everything starts with commitment. Everything starts with commitment, which is the name of what we're talking about. Everything starts with a commitment. So next week, here's what we're going to do. We're going to launch GSD Code next week. Everything's ready to roll. We're good. So let me say this also. So what we're also going to do is there's 3 courses: Grow, Stack, and Drive, Mindset, Strategy, Multiplication through Leadership Development. Each of those we're going to be doing 8 weeks of coaching. I think the lessons, there's 14 to 18 lessons per course. They're about 8 weeks long. If you do 1 to 2 lessons a week, and they're designed for you to redo, not just go through one time and burn through it, because there's homework. There's a lot of this is deeper work than just watching a video. This literally is watching a video, walking through homework. You know, again, on the resource guide, this is one of the things that we really want to do, and I think really shows the heart that we have. Is there's resources for Anthony Trucks, for Coach Burt. There's resources from everybody that we have relationship in there that specifically has something to do with what we're talking about in that specific moment in that course. Okay. So 3 courses. And then what we're going to be doing is I'm going back in the studio in about 2 more weeks. I'm going to be shooting 3 characteristics of a passionate leader. That's going to go under the stack. That's a strategy piece. That'll be a 20 to 25 minute standalone teaching with its own workbook. The one we did last week, the foundations for significance, that will go in on the drive. That'll be a standalone piece. So we'll constantly be adding standalone pieces to that you guys will have access to as well. And then Sheena and I were on a call today. Sheena and Stacy and I were on a call today. I'm already, and Nate and I already talking about what do the next courses look like under Grow, Stack, and Drive. What do those things look like? So that's what that looks like. Next week, we're going to kick this thing off with a 30-day challenge, guys. And here's what we're going to do. I want you to write this down. I'm going to ask you guys to commit to writing your goals down twice a day. And if you've done it before and you haven't been doing it, we're going to recommit. I love what Troy said just a while ago. We're going to recommit and get it right. We're going to write goals down 2 times a day for 30 days. We're going to find a quote. I want you to find a quote that is your quote. Mine, every week or every day, it says, get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do. Excuse me. I had to sneeze there. I was going to say raspberry, but that don't work. That's the inside joke. But anyway, mine is get in rooms with people. Sin shaking her head at me. Is get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do. I write that in my journal. That is my quote of the day every single day. Who am I spending time with that thinks bigger than I do? Who can I have conversations with that are going to stretch my limitations, that are going to blow the lid off of my mindset? Who are the people that I need to have in my life that are going to help me do what I'm doing? Because the reality of it is June the 19th, the second day of the mastermind with Grant down in Miami, 2 months and 11, 12, 13 days ago, 2.5 months ago, I sat there and wrote speed down in my journal, showed that to Grant. And he said, what's everybody got? I said, I'm not moving fast enough. As soon as I sat back down at my desk or at my seat that day, I got on the phone. I text Sheena, I text my funnel guy over in England, my sales guy over in England, and Nate. And I said, guys, we're going to pull the trigger on this. Let's do it. Let's get it done now. Because I wasn't risking enough. I wasn't moving fast enough. And so literally in 2.5 months, we started what you see now as the GSD code. So find your quote. What is your quote? What is the thing that every single day when you look at it is going to reinforce commitment in you? That when you look at it, it's going to reinforce drive and passion on the inside of you. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to start or resume our calendar blocks. Like we're going to freaking get on our calendars and dominate our calendars. Like we are going to be accountable for every minute we spend every day. We're not going to waste time because I'm telling you, every client I deal with, from Cynthia went through this exercise to Jeremy Candelaria, who's actually not on tonight, to Lena, to Kristen, everybody's done this exercise for 3 days. I want you to write down everything that you do. If you go pee, I want to know about it. If you put a stamp on an envelope and walk it to the mailbox, I want to know about it. And every single time, without fail, when we sit there and walk through their schedule through the day, there's an 1.5 to 2 hours. They're like, well, crap, I didn't realize I had that much time. Well, I didn't realize I blew that much time. I didn't realize I wasted that much time doing this or that. Or, I mean, I tell some of them, listen, I told one of my clients, you take your phone and you put it face down on your desk in front of you. And if you want to look at it every 2 to 3 hours, pick it up and look at it. But if that thing's not vibrating or your husband's not calling or something, you leave that phone alone because it'll kill you. It will distract you from doing what you have committed to yourself and to this tribe to be able to do. So we're going to start and resume calendar blocks. The fourth thing we're going to do is we're going to post every single day on the GSD Facebook page. I want to see your goals. I want to see a picture. I want to see a picture of your journal. I want to hear wins like Troy's win, best month we've ever had in our HVAC company in the history. We're working on the best year we've ever had in the midst of what's supposed to be the pandemic thing. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I did. But anyway, I want to hear from you guys. So there's 4 things we're going to commit to starting next week. We're going to write our goals down twice a day. We're going to find a quote. We're going to find something that means something to us. We're going to start or resume our calendar block. And if you don't know that, you get with me and I'll tell you. It's 4 colors: blue, green, yellow, and red. Blue is me. That's my time. If you guys have been through this, you know it's me. It's my gym time, my personal development time. It's my quiet time. It's the time I grow and develop myself as a leader. Green is blocks on my calendar where I make money. Yellow is when I work on my business, not in my business. If there's one thing that I can tell you about Cynthia, who's on this call tonight, who runs a restaurant, who not only has survived through COVID in freaking California, you want to talk about a land of fruits and nuts. She's in freaking la la land out there. Like they can't even, it's insane. They took a picture and put it on Facebook last week of somebody's birthday party inside with a closed restaurant, and people were blasting because they didn't have masks on. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And because this is the one thing she does really, really, really well, is she works on her business and not always in her business. That's why she's been successful in her business, is the amount of attention she puts on it and not in it. And then green blocks, yellow blocks, red blocks is our family time. You got to find time for your family. And then the last thing is we're going to take advantage of our community on the GSD Facebook page. We're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to. What you doing, Gardner? Oh my goodness! Came in and stole my foam roller. We're going to take advantage of that, and so it does two things. Number one, it holds us accountable to letting people know what we're doing and what we've got going on. And the second thing that it does is it encourages other people to do the very same thing. So that's what we're going to do. Last but not least, before I let Antonio, I want Antonio to share a little bit about his book. He didn't ask. I told him he was going to. I didn't give him a choice. Is the boot camp tickets. We've got those right now for $4,000. For 10 days, I'm going to run a special. So if you're an alumni, so we've got 3 levels of the GSD code. Number one is the DIY. That's just the downloadable course. They're $397 a piece, or you can buy all 3 for $997. The middle that we do it with you is 6 months of online coaching. Each course is 8 weeks. So when you put those back to back to back, that's going to be 6 months of Wednesday nights of what we're doing right now. That price is $997 per course, or $2,497 for all 3 courses with the coaching. All of the alumni, it's $1,200. That's what I charge. If you were in my very first group before, I cut it in half for you guys as my way of saying thank you for doing that. Basically the diamond package, or we do it for you, at Coach Burt's on November 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's going to be at the Lodge right outside of Nashville with myself, Coach Michael Burt, Anthony Trucks, and our Grow Stack Drive MC Nate May. It's going to be a phenomenal week. That lodge will only hold about 50 to 60 people. Okay. The cost on the website for that's $5,000. Our funnel starts in about 7 to 10 days online. It's going to be $5,000. That takes care of the boot camp, takes care of 6 months of coaching, and it takes care of all 3 courses and the downloadable stuff on Kajabi. I told all the alumni, I'm going to do that for you for $4,000. Well, here's what I'm going to do for the next 10 days. I'm not only going to do it for $4,000, but you can bring someone, you can bring a spouse, or you can bring a coworker with you for $199, and they get everything as well. So it's $4,000 and then $199, and you can bring a coworker. You can't pair up somebody in the group and try to bring them in. That ain't going to work. They got to be a spouse. Antonio said just a while ago, what if they get married inside the group so they can get the discount on the boot camp? I said, that's fine. If I'm the one that marries you, you can.
I'm bringing Joseph Infante as my guest because I really like him. I've never met him in person yet.
Listen to you. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Good. Antonio. Everybody's asked me, where's Antonio been? I got two people asked me in the last couple of days, where's Antonio been? I said, he's working on something. Y'all just hold on. The boy's working on something. Antonio, take a minute, tell everybody where you've been and what you've been working on, man, and show us what you got.
Give us the pitch freak. Roof.
Hey, freak. Ken, thank you so much. The first words out of your mouth are the words that are most anticipated of everything that you say during the course of a sales presentation. They're most powerful, the most provocative, and your most beneficial words that help you connect emotionally with the people that you're dealing with. How many of you are actually pitching on a weekly basis for business in what you're doing on a regular basis? Are you guys pitching on a regular basis? Okay. How many of you would like to improve your skill set in pitching to a higher level? Are you thinking about what can I do to improve the quality of my pitch, engage more effectively? Are you guys thinking about things like that? Okay, cool. Well, this is the book that you hoped that I would write and eventually sell to you. It's Close with Your Open is the definitive guide for pitch making in modern day America. It helps you to write a 3-step framework so that anybody can write a winning sales pitch. I break it down so easily for you. It's 30 words, 10 seconds with one mission. Close with your open. And so what I do is I focus on a very specific part of the pitch, which is the introduction for the pitch. It's the first 10 seconds of your pitch. And in that first 10 seconds here, I'm going to help you to articulate your value from the customer's perspective. I'm then going to help you to connect emotionally and deeply with the customer so they feel what it is that you're providing for them and what they can experience as a result of your program. And then help you to construct an invitational call to action to help get them and intrigue them into learning more about your product or service. All that in 4 exercises and 3 supplements in this book here. It's 25 years in the making here. I think there are probably 3 books here that are more important than in this for business. It's probably the Bible's got to be number 1, 10X, and then this. Because if you don't get your pitch right, nothing works for you. It is absolutely, I break it down to the simplest possible approach here for you so that it's easy to follow, easy to communicate, and it does not matter your skill level. Whether you are just starting off or you're the pitch freak yourself, I'm learning, I'm not joking, I'm literally learning from my own book and applying it to my own approach, and my own pitch has gotten better watching from my own pitch. So I'm focusing on what I do best, and I'm here for Ken because Ken is, and I'm done with that part, okay? But what I want to do is I want to thank you, Ken, for your support and helping me get to this point, for your inspiration, for your love, for sharing this time with me, as you always do for everybody. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. This book is coming out in about 3 weeks. So I'm giving everybody
how much is the book, Antonio?
The book's going to be $27.
Okay.
And it's the beginning of the whole series of programs, by the way, on you can imagine Close with Your Open workshop, Close with Your Open programs, Close with Your Open events and coaching, all these various things. Your pitch basically is the foundation for everything that you do.
Come on, baby.
If you come up with your company name, it should be based upon a pitch. If it come up with a logo, it should be based upon a pitch. If you come up with a product, it should be based upon the pitch. So I'm going to show you the 3-step process. All the exercises are included. They're very easy to follow. They're very easy to follow. And anybody can write a winning pitch as a result of this. So if you could just do one thing, if you could focus, as a lesson for you guys, some tip for you, if you could focus on the first 10 seconds of your pitch, the very first 10 seconds, and put yourself in the customer service mindset. Instead of focusing on closing a deal in 10 seconds, how can you serve your customer better? How can you look at things from their perspective? How can you try to make their day better? How can you create a joyful or provide them a relief experience in working with your product or service? If you can do that in the first 10 seconds of your pitch, you're going to get a likelihood of another 10 seconds. And that's the whole point of this program, is to get that extra 10 seconds so that people don't shut off. That what I found is there's a big data program from YouTube. And here's how I discovered the whole idea. YouTube did a study of videos, people clicking on YouTube videos, and millions of people clicking on YouTube videos. And what they discovered is that as people click on a thumbnail to watch a video, they abandon that video within the first 10 seconds. 20% of the people who surveyed abandoned the video in the first 10 seconds that they clicked on it because the information that they were looking for wasn't there within that 10-second period of time. As a matter of fact, a large group of those people left within 2.5 seconds. So the point here is I apply the same concept to your sales pitch, to your sales presentation. So if you're doing an Instagram post, if you're doing a Facebook presentation, if you're doing YouTube, you need to get your 10 seconds down right up front, just like Uncle Ken does on a regular basis here. And I'm so proud of you here. It's all going to be covered in here. You can go to pitchfreaks.com and get signed up to learn about the program as it comes out, the book as it comes out here. Obviously, I'll make sure that each one of you guys is here is going to get on the first list to make sure you get the book. Pitchfreaks.com to sign up for Close with Your Open.
I'll do one even better for you. Those of you guys that have signed up for GSD code or are signing up, I'm going to buy you a book for free. How's that sound?
My man.
So if you guys have already signed up, I'm going to get you a book. So Stace, put that, if you don't mind putting that down. Those of you guys that signed up or have signed up or are signed up boot camp all the way down, I'm gonna buy a book from Antonio, and I will be getting you guys a copy of the book because I want to invest that in you. It's important. I believe in Antonio. I love this guy. He literally has been a super encouragement for me, and I know vice versa, and I feel the same way about him as well. So yeah. So anyway, so you're pitching it. So our new pitch is boot camp's $4,000. You can bring somebody for $199 plus you get a free pitch free book. GSD codes $2,500. If you're an alumni, you get it for half price at $1,200. And I'm going to throw in one of Anthony's books for you as well. How's that sound, guys?
Antonio,
Yes.
is it available hard copy and digital?
It'll be hard copy and digital, absolutely. You go to pitchfreaks.com to sign up here and get on the list to be one of the first people to be able to sign up here. And if you're doing investor pitch decks, prospect sales presentations, advertising promotions, fundraising, political campaigns, jury presentations, anything that you do to put information in front of a customer here, you absolutely need to be focusing on closing it with your open. That first 10 seconds is critical. I show you how to optimize it and make the most of it.
Hey, Antonio, I know this guy that's been doing book marketing for 18 years. He's on this call. I'll have to introduce you to him. Maybe, Ken, you can give him my number. But, if you want to have a call, get my number, Antonio. I'd love to just help you as a friend. And tell you
Love you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's only repped John Maxwell, Marcus Buckingham, Ken Blanchard, Jordan Rubin. They've only sold a couple books apiece, so he knows a little bit about what he's
just
doing.
a few New York Times bestsellers, just a few.
My brother, I appreciate it. I'll take all the help I can get.
And his mentor Kevin Spall only owns a company that's done 162 New York Times bestsellers.
274 to be exact.
Oh, my bad, 274. I was off 100.
275 coming up. 275 coming up.
Well, hey guys, listen, man. I appreciate you guys. It's 9:15. I know we said we'd be done in about an hour and 15 minutes. Super grateful for you guys. Love you guys. I'm grateful. I'm super grateful for you guys. I cannot wait for next week. You'll see. Like I said, the funnel starts in about Monday. I think it may start Monday. The funnel gets going, so you'll see ads on Instagram. You'll see ads on Facebook for everything that we're doing. But just know, I don't care how big we grow this thing. This group right here will always be. Y'all are always invited to the house. Okay. Y'all are always invited to the house. You guys are literally the ones that help me get off the ground, confident, excited about what's going on, listening to stories from Rosa to Jay that's on here, to Samantha, to Sin, to James, listen to Joe Sarkis, listen to you guys' stories. Jared Cornell, I was on the phone with him today earlier before we started, just listening to your stories and seeing how the life transformation and how you guys have grown and are just winning in your business and your life. Means everything to me. Sound good? I love you guys. I got to get out of here. I got a busy day tomorrow. So do you guys.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, you guys.
Goes down twice a day. Hey, listen, tomorrow we start that. We're going to start that challenge next week. Tomorrow morning, get on GSD Facebook page. Post your stuff. Eden Casal, if I don't see some push-ups on your Instagram page, I'm coming to Washington, D.C. And I'm going to take Rose's boot off and I'm going to beat you with it. How's that sound?
We got boot.
I love you guys. Y'all have an amazing week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Hey, Sin, good to see
y'all.
Listen, my man, I didn't say hi. Cobzar Gomez, I think we're talking next. Jared, man, much love to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. You were quiet tonight, man. Good to see you.
Hey, Gomez, just stay on here, homie.
Thanks, y'all.
Just stay on here. We'll hang out. We'll hang out right here.
All right, peace
Bye,
out,
guys.
Ken.
Bye, guys.
Yeah,
See you guys.
Good, man. Give me my Fluzzle tubes.
Jay, I love you, bro. Tell your mom we said hey.
All right, sounds good.
Bye, guys. See you, Jared. See you, David. Homies.
Are the other ninjas joining us?
Devin is not. He's in Miami with his wife. I know he's not. Is TJ getting on the? Is TJ getting on this call?
No. Okay.
I didn't know if TJ was talking about no to
First
the.
call, nobody's joining, man. This accounting group is badass.
I knew that was coming. That's hilarious, dude.
All the managers shows up, dude. These freaking.
So last week I took to heart. You don't need magic. You need motion.
That's good, bro.
And this week's been full of motion.
Good, man. How'd that talk go with your mama? With mama?
It went good.
Good.
It went good. She's been working from home. Pretty much about 75% of the last week.
How's that been doing for you?
It's been good. I mean, I've been working a lot, but I come home and I like yesterday I had to leave, but I was working till like 1 a.m. yesterday. But I came like from 5 to 6. I spent an hour here and then I went back. Had to go do what I had to do. So I started doing this flooring job for my friend, and then it turned into like underneath the cabinet had mold, so we repaired that. Now he wants to do his countertops, so it's like upsell after upsell after upsell. And my brother-in-law and he knows a lot about construction, And so now we got a couple jobs lined up. So I don't know. In the midst of doing that, I'm still getting deals. Like all of a sudden I had a wave of leads, multiple applications coming in. So I don't know. All of a sudden things kind of just started, I don't know, motion. You don't need magic. Motion started happening a lot more, and, opportunities have been, coming in front of me. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
I love it, dude.
I've been tired as hell, but I've just been moving.
How's the remodel job going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm not going tonight, but I'm gonna go there tomorrow morning, and yeah, it's going good.
Are they working at nighttime?
Yesterday we did, because my brother-in-law works in San Diego, and so he came up here. We're about an hour away from San Diego, so he came up here yesterday, and we stayed there till about 12:30 yesterday. We had to get rid of that mold and refurbish that cabinet, and so we did all that, and we were there till I didn't get home till almost 1:30 yesterday.
Nice.
But yeah, how about you guys?
Going in late hours.
Nate, how's your Devo? How's your time with God going?
Shitty. But
it's going better than it did last week.
Yeah, I got a couple in this week. Yeah, my rhythm's a little off there. So I'm just, once again, accountability doesn't mean you're doing everything right. Accountability is you say for things what they really are. So it's good. I'm trying to find new rhythms, man. It's like, now that the kids are back to school, where I live is not in their district. So they've got to get up early here. I got to get them out the door.
Do they have school out there? Are the kids going to school?
Yeah, full time, man. My kids are at football games tonight, watching football teams play, their high school football teams.
Yeah.
Dude, freaking California, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, that place is I've got friends moving out there left and right, dude. Literally, buddy's just like, I'm out. I'm out with that kid in dodgeball. They're moving to Tennessee to get there's no state income tax in Tennessee. They're getting to Texas. They're getting anyway farther east, and a lot of them are moving into this. Not that the divide's going to happen. I think our country's going to stay polarized for a long time. So like people are literally making decisions. Do I want to be in a red state or a blue state? It's just their decision. Like, where do I want to be? Where do I feel it's going to land? Where do I feel? So I get it, man.